One. Thanks for joining us today for our WIS Next Gen Presents Discover Sports Tech. Um, as I kind of just mentioned, it's important to note that this Zoom session will be recorded, so we won't post anyone's faces anywhere except for DJ Heat, unless you're comfortable with us sharing your face and your highlights, your awesome words of wisdom. Um, but if you feel uncomfortable with that, please turn your camera off. No worries here. Women in Sports Tech is a global nonprofit organization with the mission to drive growth opportunities for women in the sports tech industry and introduce students to the wide and exciting variety of careers that await you all in the sports tech business. So, thanks again for joining us for our Ambassador Zoom call today. Our goal is to help inspire young women like all of you to continue the STEAM classes you love and encourage you and your continued participation in the sports you're passionate about at the same time. So, today, along with the WIS Next Gen team, we have DJ Heat. I don't know about everyone else, but she's in the middle of the screen for me, so that's pretty hype. Um, DJ for the Washington Mystics, Wizards, and 92Q Jams Baltimore. At least that's what your Instagram says. Anything else, please feel free to share later. Cool, cool. So welcome. We're thrilled to have you with us today. If anyone has questions, you can either drop them in the chat or you're more than welcome to just chime on in. This is just like a laid back conversation. So though we have a couple to guide the convo, just like last time, feel free to say or ask anything that's on the top of your mind. So I know we just did quick little introductions. I don't know if we want to do this little fun game we have, but if the moderators and DJ Heat, it's just like a quick intro with your name, your title, describe yourself in 3 words or less, and your favorite sports team. So, and I can repeat those for anyone, but Shiv, do you want to start with that?
Yeah, sure. I'm Shivy. I'm a student and also a softball athlete in high school. Um, my favorite sports team, Boston Red Sox. And then 3 words that describe me are passionate, ambitious, and extroverted.
That is very true. Um, I guess I can pipe in so we can end with the star of the show. So my name is Megan. I am the WIS Next Gen co-lead, and then just volunteer. I help with social posts. I would say that I am kind, bubbly, and passionate. And then my favorite sports team, the Baltimore Ravens. So, or the Caps. The Caps. That's a tough one. Let's say they're equal. Okay. And you, DJ Heat?
All right, I am DJ Heat. 3 words that describe me. I would say I'm funny, humble, ambitious. My favorite sports team is going to be a tie between the Wizards and the Mystics.
I love it.
There you have it.
Fun. Well, thank you. I guess we'll get on into our guiding questions today. Just to start, again, I don't know how many times I'm going to say this, but thank you for joining. We're pumped.
It's
um,
okay. Thank you for having me.
can you talk just a little bit about the field you work in and what inspired you to pursue a career as a DJ or in music?
Okay, so I started off as the DJ for the Washington Mystics in 2017. And then in 2018, I became the DJ for the Washington Wizards. One thing about me being in this position is I actually applied 4 different times before I finally got the job. I applied in, I think the first time I applied may have been 2011. I actually had an interview and they went with a colleague of mine instead, who's my music director now, DJ Jealousy, and we also worked at the same radio station at the time. And it was funny because he didn't know I interviewed for the same position. At that time, it was Mystics DJ. And he said, oh man, if I knew that, you got interviewed too, I would have said, go ahead with you. I'm like, no, it's cool. Understand everything happens for a reason. Then I applied again in 2014, then 2015. Then 2017, someone encouraged me. And each time I was encouraged by someone else to apply for it. So again, it was more encouragement. They was like, go ahead. I was like, I already applied so many times already. Okay, I'll do it again. Had an audition. I think my audition went well because I got hired as the Mystics DJ. So that was pretty cool for me. That first season, it was their 20th anniversary season. And what's wild is during their first season in the league, I was a ball girl. So to see the Mystics' very first season I was a ball girl for them, and in the 20th anniversary season of the Mystics, I became their DJ. So I saw that as a pretty interesting full circle moment. Here I am in the arena being a DJ. I was in this the same arena as the ball girl, getting the sweat and passing them drinks and stuff. So yeah, it was cool. I love music. I love sport. So the fact that I get to do both, I suck at basketball. No, basketball is my favorite sport. I love basketball. Can I play it well? No. So I feel blessed that I get to DJ for two wonderful basketball teams.
How
I
did you sorry, how did you get from just like DJing? I don't know the lingo, but just like DJing and then deciding to DJ for a sports team. How'd you get into that sports sector?
Um, I think it's just something I always wanted to do because I loved sports so much, and I know I wanted to work in sports in some type of capacity. Even and I was in college. I was a member of a sports program. They taught us about getting into the sports business. So I just want to do it, and it was just simple as just finding out about the job openings. Like people tell me, like, how did you get the job? Like I did like everybody else. Like there was an opening online, and I applied, and finally after four times I got in there for a nice response. That first time I applied, I realized as I look back, I knew I wasn't ready. I involved so much as a DJ and as a personality as well since that first time where I was interviewed like in 2011 or what, I forget what year it was. So yeah, it was just about as simple as that. I mean, it doesn't seem simple, but when you think about it, like I just kept applying online on the job site because they had the job listing posted. I was even well, I work in radio now, but before I worked at another station in DC, WPGC 95.5, and my mentor was Big Tigger, who's in Atlanta now. He's the Atlanta Hawks DJ, but when he was here in DC, he was the Wizards DJ. And I've always admired him. We've known each other for such a long time. And even when he was doing the Wizards DJ position, I was like, man, I want to do it. I kept asking, can I come to a game? Can I watch you? Something like that. I just, something that I had in my heart and kept believing in, and it finally happened.
I guess kind of going off of that, you mentioned you got denied many times, and I think that's something that a lot of people, maybe especially girls, because of like a fear of failure that I think a lot of people have, um, that we don't really get kind of exposure to that. What do you think is important about failing, and what kind of advice do you have for people who might be going through something like that?
One important thing to know about failing is I would say number one, don't be hard on yourself. Don't dwell because you're beating yourself up. No, I tell people I treat since I love sports so much, I treat things in sports analogies. Like, okay, you see how it went down with this. What can I do to change the outcome for the next time? What can I do to be better prepared? Because, like I said, if I look back at 2011, I wasn't ready. I could look back at 2014 and 2015 as well, and I knew I still wasn't ready and prepared. I went through a lot of growth as a DJ, I could say, between 2015 and 2017 when I did get to position where I grew so much as a DJ and I get as a personality, I got more experience in just the entertainment field. And I feel like that helped me as well because if I would have went through an audition years back compared to the audition that I had in 2017, and even my boss at the time that hired me, he said my audition is what stood out to him because it was almost like a DJ competition type of audition how it felt. They had all the DJs they brought in and they told us, okay, what song would you play in this situation and that situation. So I did research beforehand about different songs you play in different sports situations. And also the thing that he said that stood out for me aside from that is my energy and how I was dancing around. Like even while the other DJs were doing their auditions, I'm still dancing around and having fun while they're playing their music during the audition. So my boss at the time, he said that stood out. Like your energy was crazy. Everybody was like all nervous or, just, but I'm bouncing around the entire time for every DJ. I'm hyping them up like, okay, let's go. So definitely don't dwell on it. Just look at it. See, everything is a lesson that you go through in life, and just learn how to better prepare yourself. And especially if something is meant for you and it's something that you really, really want, it's going to come about. It's probably not going to happen when you want it to happen. But if you keep doing the work and focus and keep your eyes on it, it's going to happen.
Awesome. That's really great advice, especially I think for like younger girls who are all listening to this. You also mentioned that you're not great at basketball, but did you play any other sports when you were younger? And if not, how did you kind of get like a passion for sport?
Um, I think I just came out the womb with a passion for sports, even though I didn't have the athletic ability. I was that kid. I was always watching basketball, I was watching football, I was watching baseball, I was collecting the cards. I have like a million trading cards. I was buying sports magazines. My mom would take me to events, even including wrestling, all of that. I just love sports so much. And even though I had a basketball and was shooting around, I just looking back, I blame myself. I should have like went for a team when I was younger. We see it now how all the players they get developed real young. I think I tried out way too late. Like I think I tried out my junior year of high school. It's too late at that point. You already gotta be people already getting acceptance letters by that time. So it didn't. I just sat on the bench and softball as well. I wasn't too good at that. I could catch so. I don't know. I got blessed with this height, but can I play any sports with it? No, but I just still always be just have a love of sports. And again, I think it's funny how it worked out that I ended up working in sports. Like, and that's one thing that I'm glad that y'all have a program like this, because I don't think everyone realize how many different careers it really is in sports. Like this would be my fifth year with the Mystics, and to learn everything behind the scenes of all the working parts that goes into putting on just like one game. So many different positions, and I have respect for everybody on all levels in the arena for everything that they do. And it's so many different jobs, and it's so cool. I'm just so happy that I'm able to learn from everyone around me as well with what they do.
Awesome. Yeah. I mean, I think when you were talking a little bit about how you didn't really play sports a lot, but you still kind of made it into that field, I think that's super important because I know a lot of people who want to go into sports tech don't necessarily have a strength in either sports or tech. And how do you exactly break into a field that you might not have a lot of experience in?
To break into a field, do the research. So we live in a digital era where you can learn so much about different positions, and I'm a fan of hashtags. I love looking up the different hashtags on Instagram, Twitter, and now TikTok. There are whole entire sports communities on Instagram, on TikTok, with people showing all the different positions that they do. I didn't know the person that does our shot clock had a TikTok page, and she has so many viewers on TikTok because she's just showing a day in the life of operating the shot clock. But I think that is so cool that and then it start, how those algorithms work. It's starting to show me other positions that people do in sports that I never even thought of. I'm like, wow, this is cool. So if you want to get into it, do that research, follow those different pages, follow those hashtags. A lot of these people, they give great advice about what sites to look up jobs and openings, and don't neglect the smaller markets as well, like the G League teams or the amateur baseball leagues and all of that, because we everybody starts somewhere. And I learned that this sports community, in the sports industry, is smaller than you think. Like everybody really knows everybody. is amazing. So you never know. You start off in this small market in somewhere in the Midwest, but your boss may know somebody at this professional team and be like, "Oh, this person is great. Come over here." Like that's another thing I've learned. That's like, wow, everybody really does know everybody. Like it's an amazing thing.
And I think that's also another important thing that you keep mentioning is like the networks and connections and stuff. For girls who are like my age and younger, how do we kind of start networking at this age in order to kind of like figure out what we want to do?
Start networking by don't be afraid to reach out to anyone that you come across because I could say like personally for myself, if someone has a genuine interest in my career and you send a nice little message like, hey, I'm such and such from I'd like to learn more. Sure, it's just that simple. Networking is just that simple. If one person doesn't reply back, don't take it personally. Some folks are busier than others. I've learned that some people just don't even know how to check their messages. They're like, oh, I don't even know where that tab is located. Or just move on and yeah, reach out. It could be a tweet anywhere. Like it's so much easier than when I was younger to try to network because we have so many different social media platforms now, so people are accessible, especially they had their contacts and you could tell that they're engaging and interacting with people. So that's that's the easiest thing right there. And then if it's somebody that you feel like you can't get in touch with, if they have good content, one thing I remember reading is we always look for mentors like personally to work with us, but say there's someone that you really like. I look up to Jay-Z, for example. I can't get in contact with Jay-Z, but if that person has enough great interviews and content and sharing things that they did in their business, you could get your mentorship that way just from learning from their past interviews, books they have out, etc., etc. So use that as well. There's a lot of people that I love reading about. I was like, okay, I might not ever meet this person, but they have so much great content online, or anytime that they're a guest on a podcast, I'm going to soak it up. And to me, it feels like they are my mentor, even though I don't know them personally.
Yeah, that's a great call out. There's so many resources available today, and I think like, it's the typical, like, do I slide in their DMs? Do I shoot my shot with people? But like, not in terms of relationships, but in terms of like networking, trying to build that friendship with them and try to build that professional relationship with them long term. I think it's a neat opportunity that or avenue that social media provides for the next generations. So we do have a quick question. Someone from the audience was wondering, how do you stay up to date with the latest music trends and then like bring that into the oh my God, the arena. And I just thought of one after that.
Okay. I stay update on the latest music trends. Of course, I stay on TikTok a lot, all the different social media. There are so many different charts that I like using as well, like looking at the Billboard charts to seeing what's hot. I look at Spotify charts. I keep up, new music always drops every Friday. I keep up on that and just listen to different songs. Like, all right, this could work in the arena. And another thing that I do, since I follow the players on social media, I'm looking at their stories or their snaps because, an athlete is going to post when they really feeling a song. Sometimes they may post when they're in their car listening to a song. So if I see this athlete has posted this song that they really like, okay, all right, let me have that song for warm up. So to get them hyped because they really like this song if they're sharing it on their social platform. So that's definitely how I stay up. I have a whole process like on game days where I'm just checking to see like, all right, what's viral right now, what's really popping. Okay, who dropped something today, like, oh, this rapper dropped, oh, okay, this definitely has to get played today because it's like, Drake, like Drake is always going to be an easy somebody. You're going to like, okay, Drake dropped something new today, of course I got to play this Drake today and stuff like that. So that's, I pay attention to like all the charts and everything.
Yeah, that's incredible. That's a whole skill set that I do not have and I love hearing about. And you kind of mentioned like you pay attention day of game. I don't know why I said it that way, but to what's hot, what's trending. What is like your typical game day routine? What does that look like? Or I don't know, with
Mhm.
COVID and everything and like COVID.
Yeah. Oh man, it's a huge difference. Of course, pre-COVID and now. one of the main differences is well, I usually get to the arena about 3.5 hours before tip off, so I could set up. I get my script, and so the thing that has changed is, pre-COVID, before fans would come in, so the players would be warming up on the court, and I used to be set up right there on the court, DJing for the players, and if anybody had a request for anything, the player could just come right up to me. And I thought it was so cool because you have our home team, you got the visiting team, so you get to see the visiting team come out, their coaching staff, like, oh my gosh, like it's Tim Duncan, like that's pretty cool. Or like, is this person, is that person, like, oh my gosh, it's pretty cool that they all here. But now that's all changed because not gonna be near players. So I'm up at my DJ stand up in the stands. So that's one difference. But game days, um, even before I even get to the arena, like I said, game days, I'm going to music, choosing what I want to play, even like different points during the game. Like, okay, I want this for when they warming up, when they hit the floor. Or I may have ideas for something else I want to play when we have like a hot timeout. If it's crunch time, like, oh, I want to try this. I haven't played this in a while. Or like, all right, this is for the dancers when we do dance cam. Like, all right, I think I want the dancers. The dancers might like this song for dance cam. So that's another thing that go through. Then music time hits, that clock starts counting down in the arena, about what, 99 minutes before official tip off. So I'm playing music for the players while they out there. Then about 30 minutes before tip off, that's when we switch into total game mode, getting ready for that. Our hosts are doing their, because even though we don't have fans in the arena, the Wizards, we have a virtual game day. So fans can log on to our virtual game day, and we're still doing all the stuff we would do in the arena if the fans were still there. So they still getting that experience. So our hosts are still doing their hits. That's why I said we still have the dancers, we still have the dance cam, we still have contests. They got me involved in the contest now, and eventually I would get it right, but I keep getting it wrong, and that's become a thing now. They're like, will he get this answer right? And it's all for a great fan experience. I know at one time they told us we have as many as like 20,000 fans watching because anybody could tune in online, and it coincides with the game. So with the game, if you're watching the game on TV and they go in a timeout, if you have your laptop, your tablet up before you, then you see us starting up and doing stuff for the timeout. And once the timeout is over, you could go back to watching the game on your TV.
That's so cool. I hadn't thought about how like the whole interior atmosphere has changed, but how you can transfer that to the fan and really create an engaging fan experience, like, and continue
Mhm.
your DJing skills through there. That's
Yeah.
think about. Have you how has that affected you mentally? Because now you're kind of like, I guess, are you alone in your booth now? Like, how do you stay pumped up? You know what I mean? Like, I would need a Celsius or an energy drink or something.
So I think with me, I was already pretty much used to it since I spent the WNBA season in the Wubble in Florida. So I was there for 3 months with no fans. So to me it wasn't that big of an adjustment because I was already adjusted from those 3 months in Florida to playing with no fans, literally just the players and the staff that was there. This, since we know that we have fans watching virtually, like we're still all in. The dancers, they're all into it. The hosts are all into it. So I think everyone has adjusted pretty well. Yeah, it's been pretty cool. Like I said, it's a pretty cool experience that anybody could log on and still see that if they miss being in the arena, or even if you've never been to a Wizards game in person, you get an idea of what it's like because we're, like I said, we're doing all the same stuff that we would do if fans were in the building, and you could watch it online.
Yeah, shout out to technology, right?
Right.
Technology. Shiv, were you gonna say something?
Yeah, I was just gonna ask. I mean, I feel like being in front of fans all the time would require a ton of confidence. How do you kind of keep that up all the time and make sure that you can kind of stay there for fans?
Um. So the thing with the confidence and the fans, I'm the type that feeds off of energy. So of course, we know that it's different this season because you can't really feed off of that much. I know players has even addressed it as well, feeding off the energy. So I do, I think everyone misses, if the team is going on a hot streak and the fans get real into it, and then there's like certain songs you could play and the fans are all singing along and going, that's a great feeling that helps build things up. Or like, the fun sing along songs. Everybody loves singing Sweet Caroline and stuff, singing along to that. So that's one thing that's missed. I guess that energy from the fans. Can't wait till they back. And um I just love it. Like I don't really get nervous or anything about it, or the big crowds, because I know this is something I always wanted to do. So to perform in front of large crowds, I'm like, yes, let's give them a show. Let's show them why we're the best entertainment crew in the league. Let's and have them come back, and even for the younger kids, let's start building that next generation of fans where they remember that stuff. When we did have fans, and my friends that would bring their kids, they would tag me in their videos showing me their kids dancing along in their seats and stuff like that. So that's so cool to see. And hopefully next season we will have what being normal again to packed arenas.
And so I guess playing off of the whole confidence thing, how do you what advice do you have for girls who are trying to boost their own confidence and kind of pursue what they're looking for?
Um, Ways to boost your confidence. Number one, do not compare yourself to anyone else. I know it's so tough to do because I go through it as well, where I take social media breaks because I feel like if I feel like I'm at a point where I'm questioning people sharing their happiness or people sharing their accomplishments instead of me feeling like, yay, if I start feeling like, well, why is it me? I'm like, that's not good. Like, you shouldn't compare yourself, and remind yourself of everything that you've done and that you're going to do, and know that it's so much in store for you as well. So yeah, definitely do not compare yourself to anyone else, because even with this social media, some folks it's all controlled content. People are not showing everything that they're going through. So don't compare yourself because you feel like somebody's life is better. Or like, we're all equals. Don't think anyone is better than you. We all have greatness inside of us, and you just got to know that and realize that, and be your own cheerleader. And just know, if you're feeling down, you're like, hold up, you know who I am, you know what I can do, can't nobody do it like me. Like, hold, what I'm getting, no. And that's how you build that confidence, because you're like, like, I got this. Like, come on. All right. I got this.
That's awesome. And we also have another audience question. So, what would you say is the most rewarding part of being a DJ?
Oh man, the most rewarding part of being a DJ to me is seeing people how happy music makes them. And you just know you're the one responsible for playing that song or that mix that's making everybody feel this way, that's making everyone clap their hands, just shout, and just lose their minds. That is such a great feeling that I think every DJ would say that. We could say, oh, we get to go here and get, but that feeling from an audience, and for me, it doesn't matter if it's 3 people or 30,000 people. Even if it's, I'm in a small room and only 3 people happen to be in there, if those 3 people are like, whoa, this is the best ever, I'm like, yes, I've done my job. This is great.
Awesome. I think we need to start wrapping up soon. So, I just had another quick question. What do you think is the most important thing about diversity for women and for people of color in the field that you're kind of working in, and also just in sports tech in general?
The most important thing is just so people could know the market. I think one thing that I see a lot on social media is you could tell when a business or a brand's team is not diverse because they totally missed the mark. It's like you really thought this is women would like this. You really thought, this was the right thing to post while this controversy is going on. That lets you know you don't have any diversity because there's a we're having a lot of social injustice. There's hate crimes going on, and you're missing the mark of what you posted. You're missing the mark when it comes to women, and I think that's one thing about 2020 as a whole that we could say. As much as we went through in 2020, it exposed the need for diversity and the need even for women to show because what they say, can't nobody do it like a woman. It's like who do they get to fix things when they go wrong? A woman always gets hired, right? If you would have hired us from the beginning when we first told you that you were going to have this issue, but now when things go wrong, you say, yeah, such and such is just hired. Of course, they. So it's definitely needed. And like I said, 2020 was a wake up call for everything. And we're still having wake up calls now to let you know, like, diversity matters. It definitely matters.
Yeah, I need that energy just injected into my mind every morning because that is true. And I wish everyone kept that energy. Like, why don't they? Who knows? But that's why we're all here, right?
Right, exactly.
I love it. I love it. So like Shiv said, we're kind of getting ready to wrap up, but two fun ones. Just wondering, like, what I guess has been your favorite event to DJ, and then like what is one event that you would love to DJ?
My favorite event to DJ, I think, of course, I'm going to say that Game 5 of the 2019 WNBA Finals when the Mystics won the championship. Because, it was, stress and the pressure, but it's just everything about that whole evening and that night. Like, so the game getting played, the celebration music and the other music that was getting the players excited. And then there was an after party afterwards. And it's because we gotta have a celebration party. So DJing that, you got Coach T in the club, he's in the DJ booth on the mic with me. I'm taking selfies with Coach T. Like it was great, everybody was taking selfies with the trophy, and so that would definitely that night the Mystics won the championship. That definitely stands out. What do I want to DJ? I would love to do like like a Coachella type event because I just want to see the reaction of like all those people, when the beat drops on certain songs and that whole crowd going crazy. Yes, like yeah, something big, a huge festival. Definitely got to do it once we're normal again, of course.
Yeah, once we're normal again. That's incredible. I didn't even think about DJing the after party. That must have been hype.
It was a
That's even more hype.
long night. But it was fun. It was fun to see all like everybody just celebrating and win because it really is a family with the Monumental Sports Organization. So it was so cool. Like everybody the fact that staff and players and we could all party together. Like it was real cool. Like we really are all family.
Yeah, I love that. I feel like a lot of sports organizations, you see that family feel. And like you said, it's so wide, but so small at the same time. So just
Hmm.
building that network now is such a great place to start
It
when it's
is.
impossible to start. Well, I don't know if anyone in the audience has other questions, but if not, then thank you so much for joining us today. I know I learned a lot. I literally was writing down
Awesome.
times and snippets with all your great call outs.
Oh, thank y'all so much for having me. This was great, man. Bunch of amazing women. Listen, amazing. All of y'all. I love it. Thank y'all so much.
Cool.
Thank you.
Oh,
That was so cool.
thank
Thank you so much.
Cool.
So fair.
Anytime. Just call on me. Shoot me an email.
We will. For
Yeah.
sure. You're in the WIS fam.
And
Yep.
for everybody watching this recording afterwards, you can also access all of our other content on the website as well as our Vimeo. So feel free to join everyone in the sports tech industry someday. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you.
Thank y'all. This
you.
was so cool. Like I said, anytime y'all need me for anything, don't hesitate to reach out.
Thank you so much.
All
Thank you.
right.
Thank you.
Bye,
Thank
everyone.
you.
Everyone.
All right. We'll be in touch. Thank you.
That was really fun.
Oh my.